It's very good morning, everyone. Today we will study about the most important oil and gas safety interview questions. Those are asking for the golf interview, for the golf results. So, what do we mean by HSE? HSE is nothing but health, safety, and the environment, which forms an integrated framework for protecting lives of the people's assets and the environment. So, next thing is what is near miss, how we can report it. So near miss is nothing but it's an unplanned event that has a potential to cause harm. For example, an hanging bolt on the top of the roof. So if you're passing through the roof, then it has a possibility, it's a probability that it can fall over you. So the most important thing when you notice such type of near miss in your area, you just refer to your safety officer. So everyone's life is important. So whenever you notice, you just go there and report your safety officer and inform him exact locations. And next thing is what is hierarchy of controls. So in industry, how the hazard is going to control. The hazard can be controlled by a set of rules and guidelines. First thing is the elimination. First of all, you have to identify the right possible tools for eliminating the hazard. If not, you have to find the right tools for substituting the hazards. The next step is you have to find out the engineering control to controlling the hazard to an acceptable level to reduce the severity of the hazard. And the next thing is administrative control that involve the set of documents, set of guidelines, set of standards that we are following for controlling the hazard. The last but not the least is PPE. It's a personal protective equipment. If you are performing all type of set of guidelines, still we are able to face any type of problems while walking at the side, and the PP is acting as the last line of the defense. It is not the fast solution. And what the next thing is that we will discuss about what is hazard and the risk. So I first of all I will explain, I will giving an example of hazard and the risk, then I can define this thing. So first thing I want to say, if the hazard is electrical hazard, what the risk is chances of getting electric shock. So if I can say, if hazard is the cause, then the risk is its severity, risk is its effect, risk is its consequences of such hazards. So I can give you a standard definition of hazard. It's anything which has a potential to cause harm, and risk is nothing but it's the likelihood that harm will occur combined with its severity, and this can be defined in terms of probability and its consequences. Then we will going to discuss about the permit to work system and the LOTO procedures. So what is PTW system? Is the PTW, it's permit to work. You can work any type of industry. It may be a chemical, petrochemical, refinery, oil and gas, steel plant, power plant, FMCG. Whether you are performing any type of maintenance work, you need such type of permit. Without the standard document, no one is going to perform any type of work. So for any type of maintenance, you need some work authorization. So PTW is nothing but it's a formal and documented authorization for performing the maintenance activities in a control area. So what are the types of permits that we are going to follow in any type of industry? The most important permit which is following is hot work permit, cold work permit, confined space permit, electrical isolation permit, and excavation permit. So what is hot work permit? From the name suggests hot work. From this we can say the permit which is related to any spark, any ignition is called hot work. For example, welding, grinding, cutting, you can see there will be involvement of spark, flame, So it's a hot work permit. So what is cold work permit? Any permit that doesn't involve any hot work, that doesn't involve any flame is called cold work permit. Just example, tightening of the bolt. Next thing is confined space entry permit. The permit where you can work any confined space. A confined space is not for the human occupancy. It's just to the work in a confined space, and at the completion work you can just exit from the permit. And next thing is electrical isolation permit. How we can perform the maintenance by using electrical isolation permit? We are using the LOTO procedure for performing the maintenance work. And next thing is excavation permit, which is very much common in industry and performed by the civil department. And we can discuss about the lockout and takeout procedures. So what is lockout and takeout procedures? A lot of procedures ensures dangerous energy sources are isolated before maintenance begins. So mainly for performing the maintenance work, lockout takeout procedure is used. So how it follows? It follows some set of steps and guidelines. First thing is that identify all sources of energy. So next step is notify affected personnel. Third one, shut down equipment and using normal procedure. Fourth one, isolate and apply personal lock and tags. Fifth, release residual energy. Sixth, verify zero energy state before work begins. That means if you are performing any maintenance work, for example, I am going to perform the maintenance work on a pump, then what will be my duty and responsibilities? So before performing any type of maintenance work in any device, any type of equipment, you have to find out whether the system is energized or not. If there will be presence of any type of energy is there, first of all you have to isolate that energy. You can isolate that energy by using lockout takeout procedure. After isolation you can initiate your maintenance. Then after completion of the maintenance, and just you can remove the tag and you can hand over to the operation and other party depending upon the project requirement. And next thing is the emergency preparedness response plans and drills. So emergency can come anytime, so we have to prepare before that, you have to practice before that. So most important thing in an oil and gas industry that each and everyone must participate in emergency preparedness, and there will be some mock drills are there, you have to participate there, so you can understand what will be the requirement, how you can prepare yourself in order to handle this type of situations. And what is ERP? ERP is nothing but it's a emergency response plan. So it has four phases: prevention, preparedness, response and recovery. And we ready to describe about the muster point, assembly areas and the chain of command during an emergency. So when there will be an emergency, you must gather at an assembly point, and there will be head count is there, because we don't know how many persons are there. So whenever in an emergency you gather at the assembly point, your shift supervisor or your authorization manager, you will count what are the number of person enter in the company, what are the current status. So if someone is missing, then he will inform to the ERP team that one person is missing, he went to the certain location, has not come yet. So based on that we can know how many persons are there and what is the status of the person, what is the status of other people who are working in an organization. So next thing is first aid and rescue readiness. So first aid and rescue readiness is very much important. If someone is having facing any type of disease, someone facing any type of catastrophic issues related to, if someone is having difficulty in breathing, then there's some first aid kit is there, and some effective and some certified trainers are there, so they will help you. They are working on that. And per Offshore roles and mention Hewitt helicopter underwater escape training and sea survival. Gulf companies value certified fast traders for every shift. So it depends upon the type of industry and the type depending upon the scope of the work and depending upon the conditions, and they will utilize that different fast aid and rescue readiness type of activities. So type of emergency drills, and different types of emergency drills are there: tabletop exercise, functional drills, full scale simulations, and some scenarios are related to gas leaks, fires, has to release, man down situations, and your participation in the past drill and lesson you learn, you can utilize that. Communication protocols. During emergencies, clear communication is critical. Know the difference between the alert, alarm, and the all clear signals. So the most important thing in industry is communication protocol. Whenever you hear an alarm, you hear anything, you must have an idea about that alarm. If you're not able to know what is this alarm, you just communicate with the safety department, you just communicate with the fire and safety department and the concerned department, whether it's a test alarm or whether it's a danger alarm. So based on that, you have to communicate with your subordinates, and you have to know how to rescue yourself and your subordinates from that situation. So we prefer to explain how you would report an incident using facility community hierarchy. Next thing is we will discuss about hazard identification and risk assessment methodologies. So first thing is that JSA and JH, job safety analysis and job hazard analysis. It breaks the task in set of steps and identify the hazards per step. So second one is hazard and operability study for the process system using the guide words. Next thing is that FMEA, failure mode and effect analysis. It's for the equipment reliability. Fourth one, bow tie analysis, visualizes threat to consequences pathway with barriers. Fifth, what if analysis. It's a structured brainstorming approach for the scenario based risk. And these are the hazard identification risk as ideal as 100 ppm. Always carry a personal history detector and to understand the wind direction, position of yourself in the wind. So if the wind direction is from light to left, then you have to move in a crosswind direction, so you will not coming in the expose of the H2S on the area. So always use the right personal protective equipment, SCAVA sets for your safety. And for the confined space entry, has a limited entry and exit, and which is not designed for the continuous occupancy, and you must have an idea about checking of O2, LEL, H2S and CO before entering into the confined space. It must be performed by any authorized gas tester, and the standby man must be in the position and never enter without rescue plan and retrieval equipment. Walking at height. Falls are leading causing fatalities in the construction and the maintenance. Hierarchy, which we have already discussed, or the hierarchy of the control. So you have to utilize the right PP, inspecting the harness, lanyard, anchor points before use, and 100% tie off policy, and 6 feet free fall limit. So you have to utilize the right personal protective equipment whether you are walking at the height. Environmental regulations and compliance in the Gulf. So different Gulf countries are there. So different country having different compliances related to HSE, occupational health and safety, and environmental guidelines, local regulated bodies. So we have to follow such guidelines in order to controlling the environmental regulations, controlling the environmental pollution. And some key environmental topics is spill prevention and the response, is the primary, secondary and tertiary containment, and mention spill kits are reporting thresholds. Next thing is Waste management, how you are managing the waste, how you are disposing the waste in the right place so that you can controlling the waste in an industry. Then air emission, how you are using different tools, you are using different emission technologies, how you are using different gas monitor for understanding the air emissions, understanding the continuous emission and monitoring control system, flaring reduction initiative, VOC controls. And next one is environmental impact assessment. So required before new project, demonstrating understanding of the baseline of studies and mitigating hierarchies. Behavioral safety and promoting a proactive safety culture. And whether you work in any type of industry, if you see some person is walking any place, if you know the person is not safe, he is not following any safety protocol, you have the authority to stop the walk, whether he is a manager, whether he is a director, whether he is working any type of tough position. If he is walking in an unsafe position, then anyone has the authority to stop the walk, and you can explain the how and why this condition is unsafe. Every employee, regardless of rank, has the authority and obligation to stop the unsafe walk. Toolbox talk and safety movement. Toolbox talk and safety movement is very much important if you're working in any type of activities. The toolbox talk is just a informal meeting between the employee and the workers. The understanding the importance of the job, what are the important toolbox, what are the important tools are required for performing such tasks. It will giving an idea about how they can execute the activities in a safe manner with appropriate tools in order to preventing the hazards and working in a safe manner. Next thing is positive intervention and coaching. A positive intervention is coaching is very much important, and safety observation program and behavioral based safety are widely used, and you can coach your colleagues, your friends, your juniors